Welcome to the last episode of the DIY accounting system. We are going to finish up the P&L, profit and loss, or you call it income statement in North America. Let me copy the account type from the field list to the chart of accounts. Simply paste it somewhere. Here I create a column to hold the account type. I just make it dark as it is a backend column. Here, for the sake of time, I just put all the balance sheet accounts under the same category and only classify the income statement accounts into different cats. Bear in mind that the chart of accounts can be huge, so you can feel free to expand and change the account type based on your local jurisdiction. Everything shown here is just for demonstration. Simply copy the column head of the account type column and append it to the journal. Again, I make it dark as it's a backend column. Here I'll use the index match formula to grab the account type based on the GR account number. Usually I'll use the if error to get rid of DNAs. Simply create a column to hold the account type. Make it black as it is a backend column. Here I'll use the index match formula to grab the account type based on the GR account number. Let me group the column so that the account type column can be hidden. Click to fill in the column with the formula. Here I just add the if error to get rid of the NAs. Let me add the sequence column. Again, make it black for the backend column. Add the column to the group. Here I add the count if for the first category. I shot a video to explain how it works. Feel free to check it out. I'm not going to touch the details here. The category names are totally arbitrary. You can use your own names to suit your need. Here I close the first cat and check it. You don't need to, but I just play safe. Now let me append the second category. It's very long, so I close the second category and check. Simply continue appending the third, fourth, and fifth category. And you should see the pre-numbered sequence here. Usually I will check if I have all the 5 categories. Now we can go back to table summary and add a new worksheet for the P&L. Here we can copy the title description from the field list. Copy and paste the toolbar to the newly created worksheet. Remember, the worksheet name has to be the same as that in the table summary. Format it a little bit and paste the title to cell F2. Let me append an ending balance column to the trial balance. And then copy the column head, paste the column head under the field name column. Add the column description in different languages. Go back to trial balance. Just copy a title cell nearby and paste it on top of the ending balance column. Here I'm copying the language selection cell from language setting and paste it to replace the original language selection cell in trial balance. Now when I change the language, you'll notice the interface language is changed. Simply sum up the debit and credit amount to get the ending balance. Here I copy the format of the credit amount to the ending balance. And you should see the decimals like this. Add a little bit formatting. And it's good to go. Let me copy the language selection to the income statement and test it out for different languages. Arranging the P&L accounts can be pretty complicated, so I've shot a video to explain in details. When you finish that video, you can move on. Create a display GR account number column. Here we use the index match function to return the GR account number column by matching the individual position number to the new sequence column. The match type is 0, which is an exact match. Double-click the cell and it will pop up the whole column. To remove the NAs, we simply add the if error and use the dash sign when the value is error. Now, add the display GR account name column. Here we use the index match formula again to look up from the whole chart of accounts by matching the display GR account number to the chart of accounts reference column. It's an exact match, and then for the column match, we use the P&L's language code to match with the chart of accounts whole column. Hold on, and let me check if the language switch works. Go back to the first cell of the display GR account name and copy the formula. Here we add the conditions when the display type is gross profit or operating income. We put a 1 as we'll deal with that later. Then we paste the original formula. This one represents another search, so let's deal with it here. Here I create the formula to look up for the field description by the row match of display type to the field name column of the field list. Then we use the P&L's language code to match to the column head of the field list. Then we should see the language swap result. Copy the cell formula and insert it to the first cell of the display GR account name. Remember to change the red cell back to the first one. The formula should look like this. Double-click the cell to apply to the whole column. Although the display account name works, we want to get rid of the NAs. That's why we add the if error to replace the NAs with the dash. The formula will then be like this. Now the account display is done. Create a display amount column. Here we use the if formula for various conditions. When the display type is gross profit or operating income, I force the result to be 1. When the display type is a dash, it will be a dash. When the display type is not a dash, we use this index match formula to return the amount from the trial balance. Now, let's separate the gross profit and the operating income. Here in this cell, I enter the formula to calculate the gross profit and replace this one for the gross profit. The gross profit is equal to the sum of sales tax and COGS tax type. And the formula will be like this. Now we can use this formula to replace the one after gross profit. Double-click the cell to apply to the whole column. This gross profit should be negative 300. Let me see what happened. When I log these H6 cells, I'll get 300 for the gross profit. Now let's replace the 1 for the operating income. Let's copy the gross profit from above and calculate the operating income here. Simply paste the gross profit formula and add the general admin below. Then you'll get the operating income. Now replace this one after the operating income. Double-click the cell and you should get 772. Now we multiply -1 to these areas in the formula to make the revenue positive and expense negative. Double-click to apply it and it should look like this. Select the whole column and F1 to apply format. Here we want revenue in black and expense in red. We've done all the calculations, so let's mark all the back-end columns black. Group and hide all of them. Format the column head cells with lighter color to appear transparent. Seems like we need to add a divider above the gross profit and the operating income. Go to the first cell and Alt-O-D to bring up the conditional format. When the display type cell H6 is gross profit, we add a black bar on top of the amount cell. Hit OK and apply it to the display amount column. It should look like this. Now, let's add the conditional format for the operating income. Alt-O-D to bring up the conditional format. When the display type is operating income, we add a black bar on top of the amount cell and double underline the figure. Apply it to the whole column. This is how it looks like. Let's take a look at it in different languages.